Assalamu alaikum my dear students. Today I will give you the detailed overview about the ECG. First of all, going through the definition of the ECG, we know that what is ECG? Algebraic sum of all the action potentials of the myocardial fibers that are recorded extracellularly by placing the electrodes on the skin. It is not an invasive method, but electrodes are placed on the skin. So in this way ECG is recorded. Now I will demonstrate you about the differences between the action potential. So ECG is measured by using leads, while action potential by using electrodes. Action potential we can measure of cell, but ECG is measured of the whole heart. Then action potential, in order to measure the action potential, we have to insert the intracellular catheter, while for ECG what we just place those leads on the skin. Action potential is measured by oscilloscope, while ECG is measured by the special electrocardiograph. So this is all about the differences of the action potential and ECG, and also the definition as well. So now drawing the wave of the ECG, which actually appears when electrodes are placed on the skin. Like this. So this is the P, Q, R, S, T. So now I will discuss about each and every point. So this P wave appears during the atrial depolarization. After this, atrial relaxation occurs, and then this QRS complex depicts the ventricular depolarization, and then followed by the ventricular repolarization. Now you can see that the waves which are showing the excitation are positive or are bulged outward. But why this T wave is bulged outward or it is positive? So the answer of this question I would give you now. We know that the T wave is depicting the repolarization. It is not depicting the depolarization or excitation. So why it is bulged outward or it is depicting us positive? So I will describe you now. That this is the heart. So action potential flows like this from SA node to AV node, and here at the ventricular base it finishes. So we have studied that the area that gets depolarized at the last gets repolarized first. The area which gets depolarized at the last gets repolarized first. We know that. So this base of the ventricles are depolarizing at the last, so this area would get repolarized first. So that's why this T wave appears as positive wave or it is bulged outward. So this is the very important question which examiner often asks in the Viva. Now furthermore, discussing about the segments and the intervals. But before discussing the segments and interval, I want to give you very important information that when myocardium is completely depolarized or repolarized. So during this, no conduction occurs, no electrical conduction occurs, action potential do not flow. When myocardium is completely depolarized or repolarized, no conduction occurs. So in between those intervals, conduction occurs. So you must need to remember. Now talking about the duration of each wave. first of all talking about the P wave. So duration of P wave is 0.08 to 0.1 seconds. Okay, so P wave, we know that it appears during the atrial depolarization. So the duration of atrial depolarization is 0.08 to 0.1 seconds. Then furthermore talking about the Q wave, which appears after the P wave. So it is 0.02 seconds. So Q wave actually, why Q wave appears and what does Q wave show? I will explain you from this diagram, like this. So we have action potential. We have shown you that action potential flows like this. So Q wave actually depicts as the excitation of the ventricular septum. What? Ventricular septum. It actually shows the excitation of the ventricular septum. So first, when the ventricular septum is excited, so Q wave appears. After this, after Q wave, R wave appears. So duration of R wave is 0.04 seconds. So R wave shows the excitation of the apex of the ventricles. Apex of the ventricles. Furthermore, we have the S wave, whose duration is 0.02 seconds, and it shows the excitation of the base of the ventricles. So you must need to remember this very important information. After S wave, we have T wave, and its duration is 0.22 seconds. So T wave actually depicts as the repolarization of the ventricle, which starts from here. Here the repolarization is started. So these are the waves which I have shown you. What happens that sometimes due to abnormality, U wave also appears after the T wave. So why this U wave appears? This U wave appears because of the slow repolarization of the Purkinje fibers. When there is the in the case of abnormality, slow repolarization occurs of the Purkinje fibers. So this U wave appears. So this occurs due to the slow repolarization of the Purkinje fibers. So in this particular lecture, I have told you about the deep aspects of the ECG, and I have gave you the detailed overview. So hope you have understood it well. Thank you.